Hello and welcome to yourlocalnote.com. I am RJ. Appreciate you joining us this evening. We've got another duo, and they're called Wallfly Feedback. We're going to be talking with them. They got some cool stuff. I got to tell you, I've listened to their music. I like it, and I like what they did with the last song, My Generation. And it's an older song, but they did a really good job with it. So that's going to be the last song we play tonight. But I'm telling you, want to check it out and check these guys out. I really like the direction that these guys are doing, because to me, and we'll talk to them in just a little bit, their direction is really not clear as far as being typecast into a type of band, which I really do like. So we're going to be talking with Wallfly Feedback in just a couple minutes. Also want to remind you, we stream 24/7, nothing but the best music here in the Philadelphia area from nothing but local musicians. So check that out. And if you want to take yourlocalnote.com with you, we have free apps. Just go to the respective stores and type in YLN. Download it for free and take yourlocalnote.com with you anywhere you go. All right, we're going to be talking with Wallfly Feedback. That's Wallfly Feedback in just a couple minutes. First, we got Quiet Your Mind on yourlocalnote.com.
Wallfly, check it. Yo, yo, yo. I'm living the life, reckless abandon, burning my pamphlets on Western advancement, learning the most from the questions unanswered, pains in my soul from the devilish dancing. I need a girl with a clean pineal gland to hang with. Nothing outlandish, I just want to feel the strength of a bandwidth. Throw out ideas and see which one sticks. Long kiss, the abyss intriguing. Throw out your hang-ups, just release them. Docile safety or risky freedom. The pathway to heaven goes off the deep end. Squeeze the pen as intense as I meditate. You gotta put it down in order to elevate. Those with the insight don't often penetrate. Forget all the bullshit you learn to educate. Separate the truth from the fables. It's harder to do when your spirit's disabled. Nothing the preacher can say that can save you. Alone in my zone, making a breakthrough. Create new, only way to adapt. Away from the wars and societal traps. A new mind state just fell in my lap. Yours to behold once you faded to black. Sit down and shut up. Hold your tongue, tilt your spine. Now close your eyes, lose track of time. Loosen your grip on a world in decline. Don't hold your breath. Quiet your mind.
The song is called Quiet Your Mind. The band is Wallfly Feedback, actually a duo. It's Dre and Topher. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here on yourlocalnote.com.
Thank you for having us. Absolutely.
Okay, pleasure. Very cool. Let's talk about the song first, and then we'll talk about you guys and how you guys got together, and then we'll continue on with your music. So sure. The song is Quiet Your Mind. Who wrote that song?
That's something that I put together. Actually wrote it a couple months ago, several months ago, and it was something that I presented to Topher a while back. Before we had a gig, I recited the lyrics to him. He didn't really seem too impressed when I recited it to him. So
thinking about the gig.
Yeah, he was focused.
So focused. Okay,
he was focused. He didn't want to be bothered. So I presented it to him. Yeah, it's cool. And later on, a couple weeks later, I presented it to him again, and he played a couple riffs to it, and we had kind of a rough prototype that we wanted to pursue, and nothing really happened with it. But he contacted me during the fall when he was working on a project with a friend, a video project, and we wanted to do something live. And I suggested that we do that song again, and he was a little bit more receptive.
Okay.
And
and
we made it happen.
Yeah. The cool thing about that recording is we didn't really plan it as we're gonna do this song or anything like that. We just had some extra video equipment, kind of available for the weekend. It was like, hey, let's do a video. What verse should we do? I think we decided officially on the way there. Yeah. It was like we were going through ideas on the way there.
Okay.
He came, he brought that one back up, and I was like, that was it.
Okay.
So that audio is just straight from the like video recording, like, and that's what we've been using.
Okay.
So,
but you're going to add this to an EP that you guys are working on.
Yeah, we've got a couple other songs written, and we're trying to put together an EP that's like all coming up in the works.
Okay, so Quiet Your Mind, what is that about? Is that just, were writing and putting words together, or is there a message to this song, or were you experiencing something at the moment?
Honestly, when I wrote it to an instrumental produced by a buddy of ours named YLN.
Okay.
And the instrumental kind of had like an Eastern meditative type of feel to it. So I kind of just...
So that music sort of influenced you.
So I journeyed down that path, and that's kind of what I came up with. And I think the lyrics, I'm really pleased with the lyrics, how they came about, because sometimes you need to kind of slow it down,
absolutely,
and decompress and kind of get away from some of the stuff that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. So sometimes you need to quiet your mind in a loud world.
Okay. Now let's take a step back and let's talk about how you guys met and how long you've been working together and how this process goes. You were talking about he was working on another project. I mean, is this another side project for both of you? Wallfly. We get this right. Wallfly feedback.
There you go.
Easier said than done.
Right.
What is the backstory here, guys?
Well, yeah, at this point, this is our only main project for both of us. But when we met, I think the first time I saw Dre, actually, he just hopped up on stage while one of my buddies' bands was playing in college, and I didn't know who he was. And he just grabbed the mic and started spitting a verse, and it was like, who's this guy? Like, what's going on? You're interrupting the guitar solo.
Right.
But then, like, one thing led to another, and we all found ourselves in the same room and jamming. And, so my band at the time got together with his hip-hop group at the time, and we had a whole thing going. And that was a while ago, and we've stayed in touch since then.
Okay.
So we recently kind of got back together and
started
throwing ideas around, and this is what came out.
Yeah,
of it.
we're the last men standing.
Okay.
from that time period.
When it comes to writing songs, is it safe to say that, Dre, you do the lyrics and then Topher takes care of the Topher takes care of the music?
It depends. It depends on the song. It's funny because yesterday we were working on a pretty new composition, and I told Topher, like, don't worry about it. That's the way it is, because none of our songs are the same.
Right.
So, I mean, sometimes I will come with a lyric that I want to come forth with. And sometimes he has lyrics. He's a writer as well. He's not just an instrumentalist. So he's a singer-songwriter, instrumentalist, and he has lyrics. I have lyrics. So it's good that we can, come together and, make the ideas work. And it's not really just a one-way street where he gives me a beat. Right. And that's not that type of process.
No,
so.
you come with ideas and share and then mold from there.
Right.
Okay.
And oftentimes there's definitely a process where I'll present something I've done, he'll rewrite it or then change the direction that the whole thing takes, which is what I really like about working in a collaboration, is that you can take the same words but flip the meaning around by just presenting it a little bit differently with your own style. Next thing you know, you've got this whole project that wouldn't
completely different than what you
than the way I
imagined
it when I started. Yeah, and that's what the fun part about it.
Okay, very cool. Wallfly feedback. Where does that come from? How'd you come up with that name? Okay, Dre. Yeah, you don't have to raise your hand.
Like I'm in class, right? Well, I want to be respectful to all the other kids in the class. We wanted a name. We were searching for names for a while, and I was in a couple different groups. I was in a group called Stereotype in the past. I made an album with I mentioned his name earlier, YLN, and we made an album.
Water.
And that collaboration was just dramatic and Arca when we came out with our project. So when, considering this union with Toph, I didn't want it to be Dre and Topher. Like, that's corny.
Okay.
So we tried to put our heads together about a band name, and it took a couple weeks.
I don't remember.
We don't need to like throw out some of the names that didn't stick, but
Warm Corn.
Warm Corn.
No, he's making that up.
Okay.
But I think Wallfly stuck out to me because a lot of the music that I do, especially while working with Toph, is of a narrative nature. Mm-hmm. And we kind of take the position of messengers, flies on the wall, giving our 2 cents.
You're taking in life, taking around what's going on, and then you put it together in song.
Right.
All right. Not bad.
Right back out, yeah.
Not bad. Yeah. Okay, very cool. All right, we have a special treat tonight. You guys are going to play live for us.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So why don't we go to song number 2 here. You guys play it, and then we'll come back. We'll talk about that song.
Sure.
And some other good stuff that's happening with Wallfly Feedback. All right, this song is called Stop Pretending. We're lucky to have Dre and Topher doing this live. This is Wallfly Feedback on yourlocalnote.com.
And I know I've thought this thought before. It's time to get even and settle the score. And I know I've hit this road before. Wasn't long ago, just not really sure.
Yo, let's stop pretending, baby, let's stop pretending. Awkwardness ascending, doubt is never ending. You went from cute, complimenting, kinda condescending, just started talking shit. I think it's time we end it now. I used to call just to say I love you, overjoyed. Now when it rings, you hit ignore. We're both annoyed. Can't help but think that we ventured down this road before, and every time we argue, it only makes me want you more. Still, I'm not sure.
Happened last time, I couldn't decide, but then I found myself in a little bind. Now I wonder why, after all this time, I just don't learn my lessons right. It's the same again as it happened then, and I think it's time to stop pretending. I'm on my own.
We did the same thing again, my friend. But let me elaborate real quick, if I may. Hey yo, in this game of cat and mouse, strategy is paramount. But this time around, I'm thinking about tapping out. Ain't no lashing out. What matters of the heart, you gotta keep yourself from crying about finding something to laugh about. Ha. Yeah. I get the last one by going the bastard route. No, of course not. I mean the righteous route. Dancing when this jam comes out. With the new girl that I found to write some raps about. You know what I'm talking about.
What happened last time, I couldn't decide, but then I found myself in a little bind. And I wonder why, after all this time, that I just don't learn my lessons right. It's the same again as it happened then, and I think it's time to stop pretending. I'm on my own.
We did the same thing again, my friend. And now it's coming to an end.
Let's stop pretending, baby, let's stop pretending. Awkwardness ascending, doubt is never ending. Cute and complimenting, kinda condescending. Then you started talking shit and now I think it's time to end it. Stop pretending, baby, let's stop pretending. Awkwardness ascending, doubt is never ending. Cute and complimenting, kinda condescending. And you started talking shit and now I think it's time to end it. I'm on my own.
All right, very good. Thank you, guys. Sounding good. That is Stop Pretending. All right, let's talk about this. Take a deep breath. What is this song about?
I think Topher should go first.
Topher, did you do more of the writing on this song?
Yes, I did actually. I wrote the first part and that little kind of return chorus, and I brought it to Dre and said, this is a song about growing up, and he said, no, this is a song about your last relationship.
It didn't have to be the last one.
A1, one of them.
Okay.
The last one at the time.
Right.
Whatever time that was. I don't know. The timeline gets confused after a while, but so it kind of did one of those things where it took the original meaning and some of the words that were in there. I was just talking in kind of general terms,
right?
And, like spun that on his head a little bit and made it a little more of a
made
love
it something
story,
different.
So it's very important that you guys know going in that you're bringing in an idea, but more times than not, it's not going to end up the way you thought it was when you were coming into the session that you guys are, writing.
Oh yeah,
right.
I want it to change. That's that's part of the molding of the creative process, and
that can be. Excuse me. That can be. What's going on there? That can be challenging because you put a lot of time and effort into your song, and it's your baby.
Right.
So I find this unique that you guys come in knowing that I'm going to bring this idea in, but it's going to get molded and changed and moved around but I guess that because you both like the adventure of creating something,
right?
That it's a challenge.
It is, and I remember presenting the very first verse because I didn't want to dive all the way in without consent, so I gave him the first verse and I said, "Hey, this is kind of going in a different direction. Is it cool?" And he said, push forward. Push forward. So one of the things that I guess I've had to not overcome, but something that's new for me is kind of like conceding a little bit with the overall vision of a song.
Sure.
Because I'm used to being the one that dictates, we're going right now. This is what we're doing. But it's great being able to have somebody that... So
you have a comfort level with Topher as far as what he wants to do with his music.
Right. And the fact that he's able to share it with me, and we're able to share it with each other. Like it's not, like a hierarchy, like everybody's ideas.
It's a partnership.
Yeah, everybody's ideas are valid, and we just want to make the best song possible. So I think we both have that end goal in mind.
Can you sense when each other or one or the other is really sold on something that they want to put in or how they want to make the song go? Do you pick up on that and say, okay, now it's time to back off a little bit because he really wants this, and we'll just keep going?
Yeah, you got to know how to pick your battles. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Like keep an open mind is important. Like if it's not what you thought it was going to be, or the story's not, or the lyrics aren't, just like sleep on it, listen to it again tomorrow, and like, how's it sound now? Kind of come back to it. And there's no bad ideas. I think that's important too. Is like the ability to like just bring something to the table and be like, this is what I have, because that's like you're like opening yourself up. Like that's I don't know, makes me nervous sometimes, you're showing something you made, and so like, not having that in a creative partnership is important.
It's you're out of a comfort zone.
Yeah.
Which in the long run stretches your creativity.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get caught in a rut if you just stay in the comfort zone. So it's good to push yourself by getting out of that comfort zone, and it seems like you two can do that fairly easily.
Time will tell.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say so easily, but I mean I think we're getting better at it.
Okay.
And just being able to be content with creating good music instead of trying to fit into a particular mold or label or genre or what have you.
Okay.
Just creating.
Now you're working on an EP now. This is your first EP? Mm-hmm. How many songs do you have that you're going to try to pick from? And how long is the EP going to be? Is it going to be a 4-song EP? Is it going to be a 5-song EP?
There's a 4-song short list right now that I think we're going for those 4, maybe just 3 of them, depending on the final sound or whatever. But we've got a lot more than that written. It's
we got
just
like a strong, at least 10 to 12.
But it's a lot harder to record than it is to write for us. So
Understand. That was my next question. So you have to find a studio. And of course,
and
we know
time
and time and money, all that stuff. Okay, so that's the
best
next
things in
challenge.
life.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Have you guys thought about a Kickstarter program, a fun crowdfunding type program?
Not seriously. We
Kinda.
kind of kicked it around, but we haven't put together any plans.
Just think about it. We'll help you promote it.
Will you?
Oh, now's the
They
launch.
would love that.
Okay.
Now is the launch.
we've
Go
done-
to wallflyfeedback.com.
We help out all bands that that we've interviewed and they're with us. They've got a crowdfunding program going. We're all over it. We want to help you guys out as much as possible. So think about it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll take whatever help we can get.
Because hey, this is the thing, and we talk about this all the time with the bands and musicians. No one truly outside of the music world understands how expensive studio time can be. I mean, you're talking about a 4-song EP. You're talking at least $1,200, $1,500
Oh yeah.
just to record that. Mm-hmm.
Let alone mix it,
Exactly.
master it.
Yeah.
Keep tinkering.
So, and then, unfortunately, we're in a time period where you got a large number of people, a generation, who don't think they should be paying for music.
Right? That's a
That's a
that's a
challenge.
show into itself.
And the
isn't
challenge that you guys have, and this is what we're trying to do, is find out information and trying to help with this, because we're going through a transition right now.
Absolutely. Does anyone actually know how to make money?
Well, I mean, basically,
Or survive,
The
rather.
bands that we've run across that seem to do the best are the ones who just do the pay what you think, and it seems to break down like this. Online, people are pretty conservative what they pay, and then you bring CDs with you to when you play live, and you take advantage of the drunks. That's basically what you have to do.
the enthusiasm.
Okay,
The
there we go.
enthusiasm.
Okay, that's a good right. I was being a little more straightforward.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean, I was joking with that. But people, when they see you live, usually are a little more generous with it.
Yeah, I would say that's true.
And that's what you that's the bands that we've talked to. They seem to do the best that way. They understand online it's going to be whatever you can get from people, and then when you're out, people seem to be a little more generous, and so to work that way. Go ahead.
Oh, on that note, we've been talking about trying to do a house tour this spring, which would just be like a couple shows in backyards, living rooms.
Yeah, little house parties.
Yeah, exactly. And it would all be the same idea, donation based.
Yeah.
Pay what you want if you appreciated what you heard, like please support us. If not, that's cool too. Thanks for coming.
You got to be real creative now.
Because coffee shops don't.
Yeah, clubs, coffee shops. I mean,
I feel like
I
there's
don't
too
want
much competition.
I don't want to say anything negative about them.
No,
because they're very good for the musicians, and they're very good to give opportunities.
But at our level, for where we started.
But you're also dealing with a situation where people are not spending money like they used to.
Absolutely.
So to go out and I've talked about this before, and sometimes I say it on air, or sometimes I don't. I went to a club, and I'm not going to say the name of the club, but went there. Parking was $14. Cover charge was $10. My first drink was $6.
Right.
So I'm there 2 minutes. I've already spent $30.
Right.
And for people who are working, they can't do that a lot. I mean, because you're looking at $70, $80 night there.
As a musician, it's hard to get other musicians to come out to see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we've got to be creative, and this is what we're, brainstorming. How can we get you guys out in front of a large number of people? And this is why we've created this website. This is step one. So
Podcasts, house concerts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we got to be creative in trying to figure out new and inventive ways to get the music out in front of people.
Right.
Okay.
It's work in progress.
All right.
Every day.
Let's go to song number 3.
Let's do that.
Your second song you're going to play live. This is called Lately. We'll do the same thing. We'll play it, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. And then when we come back, we'll also talk about where people can find your music. And if you've got some shows coming up, we'll talk about that too. If not, you'll tell us when so we can promote your shows.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure indeed.
All right, we're hanging with Wallfly Feedback. It's Topher and Dre, and we're going to be listening to them perform live lately on yourlocalnote.com.
Lately I've been feeling I'm about to give up on the fight, and lately I've been thinking that I don't feel like the world is right at all. Don't you feel the same at all?
Sometimes.
Don't you feel the same?
I must say, sometimes I feel the same way. Overcome by the doubt and the naysay. The malaise have turned into a mainstay in our day-to-day. Even with a vacay, we find it hard to maintain. It makes me want to say Mayday, 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 and transmit a SOS. But no, I can't acquiesce. How else would I get my destinies to manifest? So it's back to stress, a state we're all accustomed to. But it's instructional, chasing the comfortable is the ultimate ideal. Still it gets hard, man, I know this how you feel. Still it gets hard, man, I know this how you feel. Still it gets hard, man, I know this how you feel. Still it gets hard, man, I know this how you feel.
All this world could rally and forgive the sin, but we're too dull. We can't believe we're living in the fall.
But you know I won't fall, man.
Don't you feel ashamed at all? Now don't you feel ashamed and find the likeness of truth and righteousness on the walls of this small sarcophagus? For all we know,
It's all we know.
for all we know.
Yo, as of late, I've begun to contemplate why the common man feels so out of place, out of sight, mind touch, mind state, out of space. Commonplace for creatures of the rat race, searching for solace in cyberspace. We dollar chase, hoping the crumbs we make can compensate for the times we waste.
Don't you feel the same at all? Don't you feel the same at all? This world could rally and forgive the sin, but we're too dull now. We can't believe we're living in the fall.
But you know it's your fault, man.
Don't you feel the same at all? Don't you feel the same?
Okay, I see. Well, why not just let it be? Because the apathy will pollinate. The demons you accommodate may turn around and dominate. Not always easy to acknowledge our mistakes. Still, it's not too late to take the reins. Make a change and take a chance. And cut yourself some slack, cause there ain't no turning back. Cut yourself some slack, cause there ain't no turning back. Cut yourself some slack, cause there ain't no turning back. Cut yourself some slack, cause there ain't no turning back, man.
Find the likeness of truth and righteousness on the walls of this small sarcophagus. For all we know,
That's all we know.
for all we know.
Still it gets hard, man, I know just how you feel. But cut yourself some slack, cause there ain't no turning back. Still it gets hard, man, I know just how you feel. But cut yourself some slack, cause there ain't no turning back. Still it gets hard, man, I know just how you feel. But cut yourself some slack, cause there ain't no turning back. Still it gets hard, man, I know just how you feel. But cut yourself some slack, cause there ain't no turning back.
All right, guys. Good job. Thank you very much. That's Wallfly Feedback. The song is called Lately, and this is yourlocalnote.com, and you're hanging with Dre and Topher. All right, I'm looking at you guys playing, and I'm just thinking, you're merging two different musical styles, and to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you, when he comes to you with an idea, Dre, do you now start to say, okay, especially if he has lyrics with it, are you now thinking of different lyrics to play off of that? Do you have to talk to Topher and say, okay, what are you trying to get with this song? Because it seems like, you come at it separately and then you merge it together. Right. Am I reading that wrong, describing that wrong, or is that how that works? You'll come with an idea and then he starts playing off some lyrics with you and you go back and forth?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
More or less, yeah, that's it. And it's different every time, each one.
Yeah, like the last song, like Toph had lyrics, structure, the melody, everything was there, and I kind of just came in and made it something new. This one we pretty much built
together
from scratch, and he said I think he just had the chorus part, and then
okay,
I built everything else.
So the
out.
song is called Lately.
Mm-hmm.
What were you thinking about when you were putting the song together?
Yeah, that's tough. What was I thinking about when I put the song together?
That rent being due.
Yeah.
Okay. Just life in general.
I don't. Yeah, I think there was a period when I was like really not sure if I should be writing music. I was having that little debate with myself, you know. And I think this song, and then there's one other one in particular I wrote from that time, that they both kind of come from that for me in terms of like self-questioning and and when. At least when I question myself, I also start questioning like things around me of like, well, you know, what is that person doing, or like this is happening. I tend to come at things like kind of big picture. Okay. And so what came out is this like a little bit of you know, I feel ashamed for taking a part in this in a place, living in a place where we allow so much unhappiness. You know? And it was kind of a dark idea.
Did you pick up on that when he's playing that, or with the lyrics coming out that he had? I mean, did you pick up on that, or are you reading it differently as you're adding your lyrics?
There's definitely a sense of questioning, a sense of there was a sense of shame, a sense of wanting to go a little bit deeper. When I heard the stuff that he brought to me initially, and you know, just hearing that, I just wanted to match that. Okay. I just wanted to match that level of contemplation.
That's got to be difficult. I mean, it's one thing writing a song and you have one person who comes up with the lyrics, and you know, you add music to it and stuff like that, and sometimes a lot of bands will have the one person write the lyrics and then everyone contributes their part to the music. I mean, they come in with an idea as far as the music is concerned, and then they mold it that way. But it seems to me you guys come up with separate parts of the song separately and then try to mesh it together.
Yeah, I just try to match and like I said, this is like a case study of these two particular songs, but on this one, you know, like I saw where it was going, and I tried to, you know, craft it around that, because I enjoyed where it was going, and I wanted to complement that journey.
I will say that what you added made it a little bit, for me anyway, a little bit more about like kind of a daily grind, like in a personal experience, where like I was thinking, you know, like kind of like the state of humanity and morality, you know, like like I was being like philosophical, and he like brings it back down to like, but this is how I how I feel today.
This
you know what
reality.
I mean? Like what's
more tangible,
what's is more important than like, you know,
the big picture,
your experience right now. Yeah.
Do you both write from experience, or are you trying to just write songs and with messages? Yeah, I mean, is it a situation where if you don't experience it, you can't really write about it? We'll go with you first, Trey.
Yeah, me first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to raise your hand.
These are the deep songwriter questions. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. Like, I feel that you have to draw for experiences. That's why we're here. You know, we're here to learn from our experiences and share them. But there's a lot of stuff, not a lot, but there's a good amount of stuff that I've written about where I haven't personally, but you can relate to it. Yeah, but I can relate to it, and this is how I would feel right if I was in a certain situation. So I just try to be intuitive in the stuff that I come up with, to speak to, you know, people where I feel they would be at in a certain situation.
Topher? Life experience, or can you write a story just on stuff?
Both. I'm less of a narrative songwriter and storyteller than Dre is, definitely. But I think normally what starts like the trigger will be a personal experience, you know, and it might be something really small, like somebody cuts you off in traffic or something, and you get, you know, a certain way, but then you think of something. And then you kind of try and extrapolate that and make it more than just about the fact that somebody cut you off in traffic, but like what does it mean that you got that way when someone cut you off?
Yeah.
And so like that's kind of like the angle I normally find myself coming at things, and that's not really premeditated. That's just kind of
just
now,
off the cuff.
thinking about it, you know.
So do you do spend a lot of time writing separately?
Definitely, I would most of the time. Actually, you know, and then we
get together and then mold it.
How do we make this fit?
Yeah, it's kind of like a show and tell type of thing. Like, yo, look what I have. Like when I come through, and kind of like just have like assignments. You know, like each time we get together, like, well, I'm going to work on this part, and I'm going to work on this, that, and the third. So like when we get together, it's like, all right, this is where we're at. Here's the next level.
It's more like, here's what I got. Here's what I got.
And
throw it on the table. Let's see what we can put together.
And there is stuff. There is like stuff where, you know, we're just there, and we have like extended time, and we just come up with lyrics, come up with like a whole song right there.
Okay.
But those times are few. But they happen.
When do you think when's the goal to have your EP out? Any idea, or is it still just?
It's a moving target at the moment. We thought maybe if we did this like little tour, over the springtime, that might help us. Okay. In terms of after that, maybe we'd have more of a platform in terms of trying to raise money with a Kickstarter or some other means, but
Indiegogo, all those different ones.
But if we get out in front of people a little bit more, before that. We thought that would probably be wise.
Good idea.
So that's kind of the holding pattern.
Very good. You know? Where can people find your music? They want to check you out.
Wallflyfeedback.com.
Okay.
That's the hub. There's you can sign up for the mailing list to find out, you know, when we've got anything else coming up, and there will be more stuff. We've got a couple videos in the works and stuff on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
But all the normal places, you can find our single on Spotify, which we're going to play a little later.
Okay.
And iTunes and the Amazon and the Google. And
all the popular, all the digital outlets.
All the places you have to be.
Yeah, the Twitter, the Facebook.
Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter.
You'll find
Google us. We're easy to find.
Okay. You have
easy
all that
Google
stuff on the screen.
Yeah, Facebook, Twitter, and your website is right below the screen.
Right now.
Awesome.
Okay. So
I love that.
Try to get that out as much as possible. Very good. Guys, really, it was great hanging with you tonight. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
This is great.
Okay. Just want to remind people that we'll have another vidcast. Live vidcast is Monday with David Ivory on March the 2nd. So that's our next vidcast. And then just also, again, we stream 24/7. You can take yourlocalnote.com with you anywhere you go. Just download the app for free. Go to the respective stores, type in YLN, and you can download it, and then you've got yourlocalnote.com with you all the time, or as long as you have your phone. So, whichever one. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah. Usually have you.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap things up with My Generation, which is an old Who song. Mm-hmm. This is your single.
Yeah.
What now? When you first sent it to me, I was like, "Oh, okay, it's a cover. What's going on with this?" And then I played it. Because we try to promote original music,
right?
So when people come to us and say, "Well, you know, we got this song," and it's like, "Well, you know, that's great. You have 5 songs, but 4 of them are covers. You know, we can't help you with that." But you did this, and when I listened to it, it changed everything for me as far as with you guys. Because at first I'm like, "Okay, let me just listen to it, and I'll be polite and write them an email and say, hey," but
truth comes out,
right? Oh yeah, absolutely. But you guys did a great job with it. It was different than what I was expecting.
Cool.
And so tell me, how did you come up with the idea to do the song the way you did it?
You know, this was actually one of the first things when we were like met back up, you know, after a couple years or whatever. Dre was like, I want help with a project to resample Who songs, and we're gonna, you know, just do a little EP just for fun of Who songs, and I'm going to rap over them. And we talked about that for a while, and then we ended up kind of going with this direction.
Right.
And then this is like the leftover.
Okay.
That song kind of made the transition. Those lyrics made the transition, and we decided to re-rap it in this new package.
Why the Who? You like the Who? Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Who, and I wanted to do just like a little short EP because I was into I made a couple EPs, and this was going to be like another one, but I don't know. Like I sat with the idea, and I talked it over with a couple people that I respect, and I said, no, I don't think that's the way I want to go. But I felt that song is just such an important record that it deserved at least taking a shot at what we could come up with.
I think every generation can take that song.
Right.
I mean, it is a timeless song in a certain way because everyone's generation is different, but they and they want to be different. We're not like the old saying is you never want to be like your parents. Although a lot of times you end up like your parents.
I think that's the...
But you never want to be like your parents. So there's that little rebellion, and that song sort of encapsulates that type of feeling. So I thought you guys did a really good job with it. So we're going to end with that.
Very much.
All right. Again, thank you so much for hanging with us.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
The band, the duo is Wallfly Feedback. It's Dre and Topher. It's great hanging with them. We're going to wrap things up with My Generation. Keep looking for their EP, and when they get shows, they're going to let us know so we can promote where you guys are going to be playing too.
Yes. Side our mailing. Join our mailing list.
Okay.
Sign our mailing list.
Okay. Join the
Check
mailing
us out,
list.
wallflyfeedback.com.
All right. Great. My Generation on yourlocalnote.com.
Some people claim that we're no good, cause it goes down in our neighborhoods. And I won't claim that we do no wrong. We write it down in all our songs. My generation.
I'm talking about my generation.
My generation.
I'm talking about my generation.
Now I heard computers make us dumb. They just don't know where we are coming from. Now got no problem working hard, just cannot continue supporting beside my generation.
I'm talking about my generation.
My generation.
I'm talking about my generation. I'm talking about my generation. I'm talking about my generation. It seems we're Generation F, generation stressed, the generation depressed, generation obsessed with smartphone site mess, stuck on social media, searching for the truth. First stop Wikipedia. Student loans fleecing us, older folks teasing us, quit trying to give us grief. Feels like you never did believe in us. But on the positive, the learning curve is speeding up. Advanced agility, ability for keeping up. The time for sleeping's up, but dreams so forsaken. Cause the ones that awaken, same ones that'll make it. The time for sleeping's up, but dreams so forsaken. Cause the ones that awaken, same ones that'll make it. Our generation. Our generation.